Yeah, it looks like the equities are probably hanging on a thread too. Besides a lot of things, people are concerned about what's going on in silver and gold market, platinum and palladium maybe somewhat, but I think the equities are hanging on by a thread. One of the things that making me think that is there was supposedly a false tweet. Somebody put out a tweet through Twitter because they hacked into the system, and supposedly it looked like it came out from Associated Press. And, the major media doesn't say what the tweet was, but I think the tweet was actually something to do with a bomb around the White House. But, it was a false tweet. It wasn't real. But it sent the markets like, bam, like that. Like, immediately they tanked. And actually, something like that happened, it would. But, just being a little bit conspiratorial, I just want to wonder if that's a test of the system here, man. Because something is really not going on correctly and making any sense with gold and silver. I used to look at some of the people saying about the physical supply of coins running out and stuff like that. And a lot of times they get low on stock when the prices drop severely. Like when they went from 47 to 33, big drop. When it was up like 40, it went down to like 26, big drop. There was, coins were tougher to get, but they were still available. But the best place I saw for getting coins that seems to always have some kind of stock available is GainesvilleCoins.com. And when I look on their site, the best it says is back order. And I'm talking generic rounds. I'm not talking American Silver Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, or any of the really good stuff. I'm talking just plain old generic. Usually generic, there's tons of that stuff available. Even though, the American Silver Eagles and Canadian Maple Leafs might be low on stock, or any of the major mints might be low on stock, but when you see the generics like the Buffaloes and stuff like that, whatever you want to call those, the Indian Heads or the Buffaloes, they're basically like major back order, and there's all kinds of generics that say unavailable. Well, from Gainesville, that's something. This is crazy, but you never know. Electronically, the markets could even go down more. Who the hell knows? It's not following buying and selling pressure by what's going on. And I know the coins only make up a portion of what's going on in the market, but it's actually just a portion of what the buying is, because actually industrial leaders are that use up silver right now are stockpiling on silver at these prices too. It's not even just, you can't even just say it's coin sales are up. There's a real heavy demand of silver at this price, which means it's going to springboard. Now I want to point to something else. I pointed out, I don't know if people ain't going to like this, or some people will, or whatever, but it was about when Sprott was selling silver. And actually it was on Kid Dynamite's blog. I'll point to the link by it. But he was selling PSLV shares fast and furiously. He's unloading them. This is right before the drop. I actually put something out about Sly Sprott sells. He's smart, right? And, some people said, he was giving it to a charity. He got hit because he has miners too. But you know what? I don't know about the charity deal, because it says in here, I'm looking at Kid Dynamite's blog, and he says in here that the last time he had a statement up on their website was the 2010 statement, which was a total of $5.7 million in donations, right? Well, what he sold, according to Kid Dynamite here, was $35 million notational of silver PSLV that was sold. So he sold about, more than 6 times the amount of all his donations he had in 2010. It wasn't just for, it definitely, maybe part of it went to the foundation or something, or charitable foundation. But the way Eric Sprott put it, that a bunch of the PSLV units were sold to meet obligations from the charitable foundation. Yeah, I don't think so. It just doesn't add up, because look at 2010, 5.7, according to his statement, was the total for the whole year for donations. That's the last public statement he has up on his website. 35 million were sold in April. So, he's just getting out of it because he knew it was going down. This guy knows it. He knows stuff. He must know stuff. So he's somebody to watch that in the future, when things are going way up and everybody's telling you it's going to $500 and $1,000, and Sprott's selling, better sell too. I just could, I was alerted to this, but I just couldn't believe it was going lower because 28 is pretty damn low. I mean, I just couldn't figure out why it would be going lower. And it looks like it's just going lower electronically. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. I know it doesn't make any sense, but the thing is, it looks like the equities could get slammed anytime they want. It's like, I don't know if this was like a hack or a test. I mean, I'll play Conspiracy 101 here. But when you have a tweet like that, if that turned out to be some terrorist attack someplace or whatever, God, you could see the equities tank like crazy. And what was interesting is gold can go up at that time too, because anytime there's like tensions like that, what happens? Gold goes up. I mean, it's pretty much 101. That's what happens. So things can change in a heartbeat. And what I'm thinking, I've been saying this for a while, but what I'm thinking is I always figured when they're going to have the attack on Iran or whatever they're going to do with Iran, because I think they're going to do it. I mean, not playing politics here. I think they're going to do it at one point in time. They want to actually bring the commodities down as far as possible, and gold and all these type of things. And when this occurs, you're going to see maybe the equities take a major hit or something, but you'll see the commodities and gold right through the roof. So, that's the only way I could see that this thing can actually springboard up really fast. Under normal circumstances, no, but we might not be in normal circumstances here coming up. And I kind of have a suspicion about this tweet. Because, what the hell would be the motive of a tweet like that? Because, in the major media, they don't tell you what it was for. But, if you'll dig around, the tweet was something about a bombing of the White House or something, but it was false. That's what sent the markets down. Now, you figure it'd have to be something pretty bad to send the markets down, right? You'd have to be. So, but that tells you if something really happened, crazy, markets can all just disappear in 2 seconds, flatten, and gold and silver can take off the other way. And this is what I kind of expect is going to happen. It's just my gut on this. But I don't feel bad about having bought silver or anything, because I know there's something wrong here. Because now I'm looking, there really looks like there is some serious shortages out there, and of coins anyway. And I assume there's probably more shortages than that, because if I was somebody like a manufacturer and I use silver in some of my electronics, at this price, I'd be ordering more. I'd be saying, hey, we got to have more silver in our inventory because, we're going to be using it up next year. Let's get it cheap now. So I think there's a lot of buying pressure going on, not just from the coin dealers. I mean, it's all over globally. So this is not true market forces going on here. This is all electronic manipulation. And I just kind of found it interesting with this tweet that, catastrophic problem occurs in the Middle East or something, or some crazy thing happens or whatever. Hey, you can see all of everybody's wealth that's all wrapped up in equities. I think they're sitting, fat, dumb, and happy right now. That could disappear, and then gold and silver will take off and go up a lot. Now, considering that you don't have a crystal ball going forward, you only have one going backwards, I can't state this as a fact, but I have it as a hunch. I think that's what's going to happen. So, and, I should have sold off my PSLV when Sprott sold. I just couldn't believe it would be going that much lower. But it's quite obvious that people are buying physical silver left and right. And, the price action is not making any sense of what's actually going in the market. But I have a feeling that this is being pushed down electronically because it's going to spring up like a rocket due to some catastrophic problem that's going to occur somehow. And that, it's going to be related to Iran, it's going to be related to America's enemies, quote unquote, and that type of stuff. And it's, that basically leaves people like Goldman Sachs off the hook because something out of the blue happens and brings gold way up and their forecasts are wrong. Well, they say, how could we forecast this? I think it's planned. I think it's in the works. So just sit tight, something's going on here. It may spring up a lot faster than you think, and it can. Because, once the political landscape or, events change, something happens, if it's like a terrorist attack or something, gold can go way up real fast, and the markets the opposite picture could just happen right away. the markets can tank and gold can go way up real fast. And I have a hunch that's what's going to happen.